All right. Well, hello everybody. This is Payman Javadi for Topics with Mr. Javadi. And today, what a topic. We're here discussing motorcycles, a passion of America, especially because we are discussing Harley-Davidson motorcycles. I'm with Jesse Ryan,
Right.
the sales assistant manager here at the
No,
shop.
service.
Sorry.
Service assistant manager.
Service assistant manager.
Service.
I even rehearsed that and I still got it wrong. But service, and I'm standing right by service. Service assistant manager here in Greeley, Colorado at the John Elway Harley-Davidson
Right.
shop. And so just a phenomenal individual, a lot of knowledge about the bikes and particularly Harley. But Jesse, how are you?
Good. How are you, sir?
Yeah, just excellent. Thanks,
Yes.
thanks for having me here. And
Absolutely.
allowing me to do this. So why don't we start? We talked about just a little bit yesterday about the history and the culture. Why don't you just fill us in on that just a little bit?
You bet.
1903, I think you said.
Yep, correct.
Yeah.
Harley started in 1903.
Yeah.
We started in a shed in Wisconsin. Wisconsin?
Okay.
Wisconsin,
I don't know.
Yeah, it was a shed in Wisconsin. They came up with their first, it was a modified bicycle, basically. And then a couple years later, came out with their first V-twin. They've only had 9 different main engines since 1903, which is pretty amazing. 9 engines in a lot of years.
Yeah.
Of course, there's been several different ones. Like there was 3 or 4 different style twin cams. There's really 2 generations of Milwaukee's, but a lot of different styles of the same engine. Harley survived the Great Depression, several world wars, all that sort of thing. Harley's also first black-owned dealership was in New York, so that was a Harley-Davidson dealership. The first ladies or women's riding club, Motor Maids, that was started in the 40s, so that's the first riding club for women. So Harley's been, forefront of just about everything throughout the years. But other than that, man, the history can go deep. We can spend hours and hours on Harley history,
Yeah. And you were also, yesterday when we were talking about this a little bit, prepping a little bit, the culture, you were talking about how wonderful the culture is. Why don't you just comment on that?
Absolutely. Harley-Davidson culture is like nothing I've ever been part of. I've been in Motorhead my whole life. Hot rods, racing, street rods, rat rods. Harley's a whole different thing. In today's weird culture in America, racism and sexism and all those things that you hear about on the news all the time, Harley-Davidson's kind of an odd one because we're very accepting. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian, woman, it doesn't matter. If you got a Harley, you're in. It doesn't matter past that at all. I've never been part of anything more inclusive in my life.
So it is very, very inclusive.
Very inclusive, very inclusive.
Well, that's wonderful to hear.
And it doesn't matter really if you're, a weekend warrior, doctor, lawyer type of dude, who's got a brand new CVO, or, somebody poor riding a 20, 30-year-old bike. It just does not matter. You're in. You get together with like-minded people. It's always a good time. You're always included, so it's always fun.
Of course, speaking of the culture, movies and celebrities, we know that there's Easy Rider. It's featured in there. Why don't you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So Easy Rider was the first movie that featured Harley-Davidsons. There was earlier movies, but there was a lot of Triumphs, like some BSAs and some earlier movies. But Easy Rider was the first Harley-Davidson movie, and it really started the whole movement. First, you get one of my favorites, Harley-Davidson Marlboro Man. Most cliche movie in the world, but I love it. I've seen it a million times. Wild Hogs, another really cliche Harley movie, but it's so much fun. That's a good one.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
There's some other ones out there, Bike Riders. It's all right, whatever. We throw bikes in it, But yeah, it's definitely a subculture.
So just doing a little bit of research, sounds like Orlando Bloom and Brad Pitt and Cher, all these people, they own Harleys, or at one time anyway, they owned a Harley. And
Mickey Rourke's another one. I'd say the biggest one though would be Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves,
yeah, he's a huge motorcycle guy. He owns his own motorcycle company. His bikes are badass. They feature a Harley style either 124 or 143, I think, depending on the bike. Anybody S&S, they rip. They're badass.
Right.
And Keanu's a good dude too.
Yeah. So we've talked about celebrities, and of course they as you all know, are kind of blessed with a little bit of that money. But you know, we were talking about affordability, and so why don't you talk about the price range and the fact that, you know, even an average person can own one. So go ahead.
Yeah, you bet. So I mean, sky's the limit with a Harley. You could get $50,000-$60,000 bike and pour another 20-30 grand in it, or you can afford, you know, just there's definitely entry level bikes. What I tell people is just drink 2 less beers at lunch.
Right.
You can afford a Harley.
You can save some of that expense.
I mean, but really, the way I afforded my last bike is just quit going out to eat twice a month. That pays for most of my Harley. Right?
Okay.
You know, drink 2 less beers a day. That pays for your Harley. It's one of those things. If you want it, you can get it. Absolutely.
What's the lowest amount that you can be expected to spend on buying one?
You have to hit the internet up for that. Really, I think in Colorado it's probably illegal for me to even talk about it. I think you have to be a licensed salesman to talk prices. But they range anywhere from, you know, beginner style bikes, just like any line, all the way up to the top.
Okay, so definitely there's a range of
a huge range, yeah.
Range of prices.
There's definitely bikes you can get on, you know, pretty inexpensively, or, you know, spend a mortgage on them.
Well, we're standing by that service sign, which I wish I would have remembered at the beginning. But why don't you talk about maintenance of the bikes and you know, what all that takes and so forth.
You bet. So just like any machine, it needs maintenance. Break-in service. If you buy a new bike, break-in service 1,000 miles. It's a pretty detailed service. Changes all the oils and checklist on it. It's pretty big. And then second service at 5,000 miles, and then every 5,000 miles from there. Some of the services are pretty small. Some of the services, you know, you get 100,000 miles on a bike, you're spending a lot of money on the service. But it's what's going to keep your machine rolling, just like any machine.
Okay. So, and then the cost of that maintenance is not usually that unaffordable, or is it pretty expensive? People can kind of keep that in mind.
So, maintenance itself. Maintenance is always cheaper than repairs, but maintenance can range from a couple $100 to a couple $1,000. I think a 100,000 mile service is, you know, 12, 13 hour job. You know, probably pretty close to $2,000 on a 100,000 mile service. So pretty big range in between as well.
If there are 3, I guess you could say, classic types of Harleys that you could mention and like talk a little bit about their features and differences, etc., what would they be in?
So I think one of the most iconic ones would be the Fat Boy. Fat Boy Harley came out in 91, 90, I think. It was one of the most iconic Harleys there is. It's on a soft-tailed chassis. You know, it's got big wheels, big fenders. It's a good-looking bike. I'd say another iconic bike for Harley would be the Street Glide, or Road Glide, but Street Glide really. I see a lot of Street Glides on the road. Kind of one of the first to have the fairing attached to the bars, to the front forks and all that. The new ones, the electronics that come with it are awesome. You can get rain mode and traction control, and, maps, and GPS and all that. They're pretty awesome. But I'd say it's another iconic Harley. As far as, I don't know, what would be another iconic Harley? I mean, I got mine, but I mean, everybody's got a different opinion too.
Yeah.
Road King.
Road King? Road King, yeah. I mean, that's kind of, so that's what I ride.
Yeah.
Road King. It's on a touring chassis. It just, it looks like a Harley. Everything about it. You can't mistake it.
All right.
Yeah.
Great.
It's my favorite.
Yeah. So just kind of going from that to the, you know, the frames and the designs. I know we talked a little bit about maybe looking at some samples.
Sure. Yeah. I can show
So,
some
so
bikes,
if you feel comfortable
yeah,
going in that
absolutely,
direction
man.
and
You bet.
showing us some frames and types, and we'll wrap it up, as they say.
Actually, let's go in front here. These are all on a touring chassis. I mean, see, these are road glides here. On the road glide, the fairings attached to the frame, so your bars and your forks and tire and wheel move independently. A lot of guys love these, man. They cut through the wind. Pass a semi, it doesn't grab your bars. These are very, very popular bike, and there's a reason for it. Touring chassis, big engines. They're heavy cruisers, but man, they're wonderful. You can put thousands of miles on these comfortably. No problem. This one you can see
You want to do that, and then
the frame is actually attached to the forks, so it moves with the forks and the front wheel. This is the street glide. I also have a street glide. I love my street glide. When you get off after a long trip and you're not fatigued,
it is going to be a long process.
head hasn't been whipping around. Again, big, heavy touring chassis, big engines. They're fast, loud. They're wonderful. You can also tell. Come a lot of different colors, different ways to build them. These are also very popular. All these are very popular bikes. Harley offers 135 kits, 131 kits. Exhaust, the aftermarket's unbelievable for Harley as far as exhaust bars, engine kits, whatever you like. They're wonderful bikes. I can't say enough.
Just a lot of variety.
A lot of variety. Man, if you can't find an aftermarket part for one of these, we'll create it. It'll be millionaires. Yeah.
All right.
Everything's
So one thing that I do know about is not a lot know about, but I just heard about, is like the lowrider, etc.
that was my next one, yep. So this one here, this is the lowrider ST. So the difference between the lowrider ST and the lowrider S. ST has the bigger fairing on here. That's kind of a throwback to the FXR back in the 80s. And these are great. It's on a soft tail chassis. Again, big engine. This one here's got the 117 high output motor in it. Inverted forks, dual discs in front. This is a good performance machine. And again, really comfortable bike. They're a bit lighter than the touring bikes, but again, very comfortable, very powerful, and very popular. These are great. When I was buying my Road King, it was between this and the Road King. Still, ladies a little more comfortable on the Road King, being a little bigger chassis, but I'm still going to get one of these one day.
Yeah.
These are wonderful bikes.
Well, it looks wonderful.
This is the same chassis, same basic chassis as the Lowrider ST. This is the Heritage Classic. You can see the styling is completely different on it. And this kind of mirrors kind of a throwback to that old Harley feel and old Harley look from like 40s and 50s.
A little bit nostalgic.
Yeah. It's amazing. What our shop manager, he's got a 1935 Harley.
Wow.
And it's really, he rides it to work.
Wow.
Usually on Saturdays.
That's awesome.
But the cool thing is, like, from 35 to current, it's not that different.
Wow.
I mean, of course, the technology is way different.
Well,
the basic look, shape,
You talked
really
about
close.
that a little bit over there.
Yeah.
We were talking about like the types they haven't varied much over the years. Is that because of the durability and like they're satisfied with what they have, so it's like no need to really change anything per se?
And the styling itself. The styling is still very popular, but
Yeah.
they're built like tractors.
And they're very durable.
They're very durable. Yep. I mean, there was some years there where AMF owned Harley, the bowling ball company.
Yeah.
They weren't great. The reliability wasn't great. They leak oil. But don't get me wrong, they're really cool, but they're not anything like these new bikes. I mean, if you're leaking oil, there's something wrong. If you're not leaking oil on a shovel head, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
But you can see, you look at this bike in that 35. This styling's pretty close. It's still a V-twin engine.
Yes.
Just the technology's a little different in it. Yeah. This is also a soft tail over here, and again, same chassis as these. This is a breakout. This is kind of a hot rod. Wheels kind of look like the Hill brand wheels from the hot rods back in the day. Wow. Kind of the chopper bar, kind of the drag bar. Very cool looking bikes. They're fast too. These are fun. I wouldn't take this on a 1,000-mile trip. I don't think for me. I'm a little older, a little middle-aged. I'm going to take a touring bike. I'm taking a street road bike. Around town for bar hopper bandings are badass.
So definitely age and the type of riding you want to do,
Yeah.
right? We'll talk about that a little bit.
Absolutely. So, there's a bike for everybody. For absolutely everybody. Some of them crotch rockets, you get Ducati or BMW, or some of those, even Yamahas. They're much faster. You're going to be much faster. But man, you ain't going 500 miles in a day on one of those bikes. You can jump on just about any of these and go 500 miles, easily. 700 miles in a day is not uncommon. It just depends. If you're riding two up, you're probably going to be riding a touring bike. If you're just ripping around town, you're probably looking at a breakout or a lowrider S, lowrider ST, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. These are also soft tails here. Those are These are cool bikes. These kind of going to be the entry level to soft tails to the bigger V twins. They're very nice. They ride good. They rip.
That's great. That's great.
So the other one I'd probably mention real quick before we go up front here is I'm going to show the trikes real quick.
These are designed for several people.
Yeah. So these. Some folks, they don't want to balance their bikes anymore. I've had a few customers, knee replacement, hip replacements. Hard to hold up a big touring bike. That's me on my touring bike. I'm probably 1,100 pounds loaded. The old lady maybe a little closer to 1,200, 12,000. So anyway, if you got a bad knee, bad hip, or replacement, the trike's perfect. You don't have to balance it. A lot of luggage room, so you take big trips on them. Take the old lady with you. These are great. These do have reverse on them, the only Harleys that have reverse. And they're still great. You can get all the aftermarket parts, exhaust, make them sound and look exactly how you want. You just don't have to worry about balancing. Really comfortable going down the road. They're very nice bikes. And they're becoming more and more popular too. They're kind of a misconception, I think, on these, because you see a lot of the older dudes on it. There's a lot of younger folks that ride it too. They just like the way they look, the way they handle, everything about them. So, trikes are awesome too. And this one's called the RG3. It's just a little different configuration. Doesn't have the trunk on it. Has a road glide, front fairing, and all that on it.
It just looks like the USS Enterprise,
right?
Star Trek or something.
It almost has the same technology too.
Well,
there's a couple other bikes I'd like to show you up here. Kind of the top of the line CVOs.
wow. Talk about variety.
So this is a Road Glide CVO ST, and this is a performance bagger, and right from the factory, it's got all sorts of just really, really good stuff on it. It's got the bigger engine. You can see it's got carbon fiber. It's got a solo seat. A lot of folks will still put the 2-up seat on it, but it's kind of just a racing-minded bike to it. You see the exhaust is just a little different. It's already got suspension on it, so you can see the remote reservoirs. I don't know, Keelan, if you can get a shot of the remote reservoirs on the suspension there. So you can dial that suspension to whatever weight, whatever you track, canyon kiln, whatever. These handle so good though; they're awesome.
Yeah.
I also see it's got a carbon fiber front fender on it. It's 121 high output engine. These things are a performance bagger. Kind of the top of the line.
Just the design is just so precise, right?
It is, and it's still based on regular Road Glide.
Well, as I was researching a little bit, so that I can sound about half of a half as good as you, which is, I could even add one more half, maybe even two more halves. But I was hearing about accessories and things like that. Yeah. So that's pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, accessory for Harley. I've never seen anything like it.
I mean, you're talking radio and what else?
Oh yeah, so really, in stock form, our touring bikes don't need an upgrade. The infotainment system on these are top of the line. They're amazing. For little older bikes, we can get the aftermarket pretty full. You can get kind of whatever you want. You can get a radio with the maps and all that in it. CarPlay and the Apple and all that stuff, GPS, all that in it.
Yeah.
These touring bikes come with a factory. But accessories for Harleys, man, the sky's the limit. You want different windshield, different wheels, different fenders. I mean, like I said, if you can think of it, somebody builds it, somebody makes it.
Yeah.
And the Harley-Davidson branded stuff is really, really good. I've always said it's really hard to beat Harley's R&D parts. But people still seem to come up with great things, great ideas. You could go to the parts department and spend a day on just accessories for just one bike. There's just so many available.
Two things to watch out for before buying one, or thinking about riding one, etc.
would say fitment is going to be a really good thing to think about. Like if you're thinking about taking 1,000-mile trips, going across the country and spending months on your bike, I don't know if some of the smaller bikes are going to be the right fit. Also, if you're going to be ripping around town, I don't know if a bigger bike's going to be the correct fit. So I think fitment's going to be right. Of course, there's a million things we can do to a bike to make it fit better. Seats, highway pegs, bars, grips, everything. So we can make every bike fit to everybody. So I'd say fitment's a big thing.
Okay.
The more comfortable you are on your bike, the more you're going to ride it. Another thing I would say, time. If you don't have a lot of riding time, you're going to make riding time, but you're going to want to ride your bike a lot.
Yeah.
So I kind of run into this too between work and the kids after school stuff, yard work and all that. I don't have the riding time that I'd like to have, but I also have a pretty good bike payment.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that balance. I don't know if that's a deterrent, but for some folks, I think it really is.
Okay. Well, I'm about there, so I'll ask you one more question.
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
Ask away, man.
and then wrap it up. Well, as you know, I'm a former teacher, and the program's called Topics with Mr. Howdy, because I just discuss different topics like I did in the classroom. But I have the young people in mind when I do this, and so if a young person wants to go into this as a career, kind of like you, whether it's service, sales, or whatever aspect of it, because it is a huge industry, what would you advise them to do? If they're in high school, they're about to graduate, they're thinking about this.
So I think the first thing I would advise, make sure you have a passion for it. It's hard to do anything in life, including motorcycles or whatever it is, without the passion. So if you have a passion for it, it's a real easy career. You can talk about motorcycles all day. Same thing. I came up with the automotive. The biggest difference for me was the passion here versus somebody needs some brakes on their car. It's a big difference. But I would say do your research. Read as much as you can. Talk to as many people as you can. Be knowledgeable in the subject. Between that and passion, some hard work, man, sky's the limit. Do anything you want.
Because it looks like there are a lot of different places where people can be busy.
Oh yeah. If you're more into the sales side of it, great. If you like service, if you want to be a wrench, there's a lot of different avenues to become a motorcycle mechanic or service riding. Service riding, that's what I do all day. It's a good fit for me. I was in sales for a while, and it was a good fit, but service is better. I know a little bit about motorcycles, but I have the passion for it. I'm ready to work hard to do it. So, be around motorcycle people all day long. It's a good career. That's a good place to be,
Well, Jesse, I just want to thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely.
Jesse Ryan, the service manager.
Assistant service manager. Service advisor,
I'll get it right one of these. Assistant service manager.
I'm a service advisor. I'm here for whatever you need, though,
Well, thanks for your candor. Thanks for your time.
Absolutely.
And really just the beautiful way in which you informed us today.
Yeah, good.
And,
I hope somebody learned something.
My thanks to the management and.
Absolutely. I missed. There we go.
Have a good one. Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you.